don't mind, let's go ahead and go to Tom in the UK. Hey, Tom, you are live on Truth Wanted. What's up?
Hey guys, yeah, I can confirm what Rebecca was saying there about the UK. Religious-wise, we are pretty good, but we believe in a lot of bullshit.
Well, I think it happens because here's the thing, I was warned away from psychics and stuff in the Christian church. A lot of Christians you talk to, and that's not all of them, because a lot of Christians here, they'll say whatever. But if you grew up in a certain strain of Christianity, you're kind of inoculated from this other stuff because you're told to stay away from it. So you don't see it as much here as you might see it in the UK if you're not growing up with kind of that prevention method. Then people just kind of discover what's out there. So anyway, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think of where Britain's quite old. There's a lot of beliefs in ghosts and all that kind of rubbish. I saw an interesting chart earlier where it was showing that the belief in religion goes down, belief in other stuff's going way up.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think I think they're
replacing religion with other woo nonsense to counteract it.
I think a lot of people are rejecting religion because I mean, there are many good reasons to reject religion, but perhaps because, it's homophobic or whatever, that just religious people are horrible, so I'm not going to be religious anymore. You haven't become an atheist because you're a critical thinker. You've become an atheist because you don't like what you see in the religious community that you left. And so you don't have the critical thinking skills to apply. And this is not, in any way your fault, because we should really be taught these things. I certainly didn't have these skills. As is obvious from my tarot reading anecdote. But so if you don't have those skills, then you're just going to pick up the next thing that comes along where, I mean, there's lots of people who have very, inclusive, lovely, friendly communities of woo. So why not go to them?
That's true. So anyway, what I was calling up about originally was I wanted Dan's opinion on the phrase "babies are born atheist" because I've had a real problem with this recently. Every other week, people seem to be talking about it and arguing with it on the Atheist Experience page and other pages, and I kind of think it's utterly pointless to give babies that label. I just don't see any worth to it whatsoever. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I guess I'll start first. It's a phrase that comes up every once in a while, and I definitely see it too. To me, babies don't really have the cognitive abilities to have beliefs in the same way that I think.
That's my opinion. But people online seem to be utterly against it. They seem to say no, they are atheists.
But so here's why I think it comes up though, because there is an evangelical rhetoric that says, oh, you actually Jesus is with you, or the Holy Spirit or God is with you from the beginning because you have some sort of moral sense to you. Or something, you can hear the God in you from the very beginning, from when you're born. And that's why they say these babies are kind of Christian babies, because they're, everybody's a Christian on some kind of esoteric level, even though, there's no evidence of that. It's just a thing people say. So I think that's kind of a response to that. It's babies are born atheists because they don't have those beliefs, which, yes, that's true, but they don't really have any beliefs.
They don't have any beliefs.
Yeah, so
my cat doesn't have any. But my cat's an atheist.
Yeah, I mean, it's not wrong. It's just kind of. I don't know. It's kind of pointless a little bit. But if it's a response to a claim of, oh, everybody's Christian from the start, then yeah, then that's where it makes sense. Otherwise, it's just kind of it's kind of a moot point to me. What do you think, Rebecca?
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. It depends what your definition of atheist is, I suppose, because
that too.
I think often people think of an atheist as someone who is rejecting a belief in a deity, as opposed to just someone who is without the belief in the deity. And to define people who've never encountered a deity, for example, if we were to meet some people. Let's make them adults to avoid the confusion of babies not having beliefs. But if we went to an isolated island, and those people had never formed a religion, which seems unlikely since it seems to be a thing humans do. But let's just imagine this thought experiment. They have never formed a religion. They don't have any deities. Do we call them atheists? If we do, it's kind of weird to define them by our deity and say you are without something that we have. They're not without anything. They are just who they are. And I kind of feel the same way about babies.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way. Again, it's just it goes back to definitions. If you're talking about a lack of belief in something, if you're talking about a rejection, either way, a baby just doesn't have just doesn't have a religious belief in it, and it's not possible. So yeah, I mean, to summarize, I mean, that's it. That's my thoughts on it. Yeah, you're right. Your cat's an atheist by that extent of the logic. All the animals we see are atheists. You know, I mean, it's just
inanimate objects, all atheists.
Inanimate well, yeah, you know. And that's and some people, you know, they bring that up as like a criticism of that point. They're like, well, that just means inanimate objects are atheists. Like, yeah, okay. So, so what? Like, that doesn't really mean, you know, like, is that a bad thing? Like, it's whatever. But
if it just means without belief in deity, then anything without belief in deity is an atheist.
Yeah. Yeah.
That includes my mug.
Right. Right. So anyway, does that answer your question, Tom? Oh, hello, Tom. Are you still with us? Oh, all right, Tom. Well, I'm going to assume that answered your question here. I'm going to go ahead and let you go because I can't hear you. But yeah, I think we answered that question pretty.
He's probably gone to bed.
Yeah, I guess so. Right?
I don't know what he's doing up at this hour.
Oh man, I every time I get someone from your country, I feel so bad because it's always super tiring for you guys. But I'm just glad you're here. Thanks again.
That's fine. We've got the day off tomorrow. It's chill.
Oh, good.